Welcome to One Sharp Sword, cutting through to what matters most. I'm your host, Dr. P, Dr. Wayne Pernell. And today I am talking about what is on your to-do list and who has control over that. And I call this, Will I Do It? I'm going to share something with you. It's a little personal, and that is I have had doing a podcast on my to-do list for a while. And I will say that I thought I could put it off, and I thought I could get it done, and I thought I could put it off, and I thought I could get it done. And it's been on my to-do list, and I have rolled it over. And this is the nature of this podcast today. Is there something that you need to do that you haven't done, or that you've chosen to put off to tomorrow because you have time tomorrow to do it? You could just do it tomorrow. It's going to be fine. I will say I have a checklist, right? It's one of those. Is it on the checklist? Do a blog post, check. Clear email, check. Right? Prepare for client calls, check. Those are all things that I do pretty much every day. Climb Mount Everest. It's like, that's on my to-do list. Not really, but it's like there are tasks on my to-do list that seem monumental like that. Climb the giant mountain. And what I'll do is I'll go, okay, it's a thing I will do there. I will do that. I'll get there. I can roll it over to tomorrow. I can roll that over to tomorrow. I can roll that over to tomorrow. I'll handle it. There's time. I'll get there. And in doing that, it might roll to tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day. And in terms of doing a podcast, this is such a great example. It's like I had to look at, when was the next one due? Oh my gosh, I've run out of podcasts that are ready to go. So I've had to do a couple of them just to have them in advance, which is the way most people load their podcasts. And here we are. Now, did this become a need to do instead of a want to do? Actually, it's still both for me. And that's the good news. I love doing podcasts. I love being able to share information that might spark something for you. And you have to find what you love. The problem that I ran into is that I love doing so many other things that I put this other thing that takes a little more effort. Right? I need to get the microphone. I need to set the lighting. I need to make sure that the cat doesn't bug me too much. Like all those things. I need to put focus on so my phone doesn't ring, like all those things. There's a bunch of different tasks that go into doing a podcast. Small stuff that leads up to, well, I could just get it done. When it's time to write a blog, for example, I just sit down and I write. It's how I work. Doing the podcast is a little different for me. Now, what is it in your life that, it's like, it's a thing. I should just do it. But I have to do this first, and I have to do that, and I have to do this in order to do the thing. It's usually having those little small things in the way of doing the bigger thing that causes you to not do the bigger thing. Now, for you, it might be exercise. I have to find clean exercise clothes. I have to pull out my socks. I have to find my shoes. I have to, get to the exercise equipment. I have to be sweaty. I then have to take a shower, like all those things. So a 20-minute burst of good exercise turns into an hour because, wow, you had to do all those things to lead it up to it. And then all those things that come after it. Okay. So if you know it's going to take an hour to do a 20, 30, or 40-minute burst of exercise, put an hour on your schedule. That's how you get things done. Is not, I need to exercise for 20 minutes or a half an hour. It's, I need to do this thing that's going to take me an hour total. For me, that's doing the dishes. It is cleaning the fish tank. It is like all the things that could be easy as the task themselves. They have such small things that go around them. Like, I'll just explain it, and you may have this experience too. When I clean the fish tank, I have to make sure that the sink, because I use the kitchen sink to fill the bucket for the fish, the fresh fish water, right? So I have to make sure that the kitchen sink is clear. So doing the fish tank might mean I have to do the dishes first. And that might mean I have to empty the dishwasher first. And that might mean all kinds of things, right? So it's interesting why we put stuff off. Now, if you need to do it, if you really want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it. It'll feel like a have to until it feels like a get to. When it feels like I get to do this, it doesn't feel like you're putting stuff off anymore, because you're going to find a way. The truth is that if you really wanted to do something, you would do it. Here's a thing on my list. It's important. Do I actually intend to do it?
You know you are bigger than the life you are leading. It really is time to attend to that thing you've wanted to do or have, but you've been putting off. It's time to step into that dream you've parked for someday. It's time to claim true well-being, both personally and professionally, without giving up the success that got you here. It's time to check out Dr. Pernell's signature small group retreat, the Exponential Success Summit. Explore exponentialsuccesssummit.com. Seats are extremely limited, as this is a very special small group event. www.exponentialsuccesssummit.com.
Now, there are things on my list that I've rolled over and rolled over and rolled over. And when I roll it over about 6 times, I ask myself that question: will I do it? It's more like, do I actually intend to do it? Do I actually intend to do this thing, or does it just make me feel good that it's on my list? It makes me feel good. No, it's like, it makes me feel terrible that I've rolled it over so many times. Do I actually want to do it? Or should I just say, that is not something I'm going to be doing? What about you? What in your life have you rolled over on your to-do list? Oh, I have to make this many sales calls, or I have to get the oil in my car changed, or I have to mow the lawn, whatever it is, like whatever it is for you. What is it that you've been putting off doing that maybe you can enlist the help of somebody else to take it off of your list and give it to somebody else, so that you still get to check it off as done, but it's not done by you? Or it's like, you know what? I'm really not going to do that. I signed up to learn a foreign language. And the truth is, I was great the first week. And after that, I'm really not going to do that. Unless there's a reason for me to do that. I've got so many other things going on. It's not going to happen. Not the way I intended or thought about it when I first signed up for it. So that is a to-do that I've taken off my list. If it comes up, hey, I have a free 6 minutes. Awesome. I might jump back into the foreign language program. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's not the end of the world. What about for you? That, by the way, is a thing that's on my to-do list that nobody else can do for me. Hey, can you learn my language? Can you learn a language for me and download it? Not going to happen that way. Right? Because it takes effort, it's pulling away from something else that might take effort. It's not something I would do passively. So what is it that, I'm a big fan of what do you actually want? What do you want? Because if you want it, you will do it. If you want to learn guitar bad enough, you're going to learn guitar. If you want to learn a foreign language bad enough, you're going to learn that foreign language. If it mattered that you were actually traveling and you needed to learn that foreign language for the sake of you are traveling and you're the only one that can learn this language, awesome. You just might learn it. Or you just might take your phone with you and have the translator app available. Here's the thing. If you are overcommitting, then you're lying to yourself. I'm going to say that again. If you're overcommitting, you have been lying to yourself about what you can do and the importance of all of those things. You've said yes, which is awesome. I'm a big fan of saying yes to create opportunity. And you've said yes to something that you really had no intention of following through on. It seems like a good idea, and then you hit a wall with it. If it no longer seems like a good idea, let go of it and give yourself the mental space to think about the things that really do matter. When you commit to something, commit to it. Nobody goes into a relationship thinking about, I wonder when this will end, right? It's like it's a commitment to the relationship. When you hire new employees, you don't think about, I wonder how I'm going to fire them. You are hoping that they will last a very long time. And when you put truly important things on your to-do list, you don't think about, I wonder how long it'll be before that drops off. And maybe you need to be considering how much commitment it is going to take. We do mean well. And when it comes time to cut something loose because it is taking too much of your bandwidth, it is time to do exactly that. Do I need to be doing this thing today? That's the question. Do I actually need to be doing it? Do I actually, here's the other kind of subtle difference in that question. Do I actually intend on doing this thing today? And if the answer is, well, yeah, then the next question is, really? When do I intend on doing that? And have I put that on my calendar so that it's an appointment with myself? Because I will make an appointment with myself. It is on my calendar. It is going to get done. You could also schedule a full day to devote to the project. You could bring in help. You could delegate. And that means maybe hiring someone to do it. You could defer, and that is deliberately pick another day or time in a different week or month, or you could just drop it. One great example that I use is I don't do my taxes. Oh, my taxes get filed. I used to spend like 2 full weekends, one weekend of preparing and the other weekend of rolling up my sleeves and grabbing my calculator and having all the papers around me and filling in the forms. And it was like, wow, that's more than I want to do. And that was when my taxes were easy. So now I have an expert that helps me with that. What expert do you need in your life? I have several items on my to-do list, and usually I'm running about 4 priority 1 items on any given day. And usually by the end of the day, I can get 4 to 6 priority items done. That includes not on my list, client calls and administrative time and writing and content creation. So sometimes things like content creation, like doing a podcast, is actually on my list. Sometimes it is something that I fit into my day, or sometimes it is scheduled in my day deliberately. Today, it was scheduled in my day because it had shown up on my to-do list multiple times, and I rolled it over till I actually plugged it into my schedule. Think about what you put as priority 1. What do you put as priority 2? If you've rolled it over more than a few times, just drop it. And then feel the lightness in your schedule when you make in your whole being. Actually feel the lightness in your whole being when you make the decision to cut something out. And that, by the way, decidere, decision, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It comes from the Latin to cut away. When you decide something, you are cutting something out. And that leaves room for the things that you value. All right. Really quick. exponentialsuccesssummit.com. Just go there. Okay. Dive in, take a look around. It may be for you. It may not be for you. exponentialsuccesssummit.com. You've got to pay attention to how you're living your life in order to grow in your life personally and professionally. That's what so much of this is about. Thank you for being here. This is One Sharp Sword, cutting through to what matters most. I am your host, Dr. P, Dr. Wayne Pernell, the Exponential Success Coach. See you here next time. Keep making your magic.